Hi guys, welcome to the Colouring Heaven show.
I'm so excited for today's video. We're going to be showing you our top 5 Colouring Heaven pages of 2021.
We've gone right back through the archive of all Colouring Heaven titles and picked our 5 favourites. I'm Jenny.
And I'm Honey.
And we're part of the team who create Colouring Heaven.
I've loved looking back for all the designs in prep for this video. It's really reminded me of all the amazing art that we've published. It definitely made it difficult to pick just 5 favourites. If you have any suggestions or feedback, please do leave it in the comments and we'll make sure to go through and read it all. But for now, let's get stuck in.
So my first choice is from the Mermaid Special with designs by Anastasia Koldariva, and I've chosen this design. This design. Anastasia has 2 slightly different styles of drawing in this issue, one of which is pure line art and the other one has very slight grayscale added to it. So as you can see here, one of Anastasia's trademarks is her beautiful facial features, and you can see here, absolutely stunning, very, very realistic. And she's applied a very slight grayscale to this. Now, I know some of you are intimidated by grayscale designs, but I think rather than being intimidated, they're actually really helpful because they just show you can colour on it exactly the same way as you would any other design with line art, but it just gives you an indication of where you should put your highlights and shadows. By here, following the grey that she's added to the design, following that with your shadows. So especially on features like faces and on hands in particular, which are really tricky to get to look realistic, it's actually really helpful. So that's really helpful on this part of the design. And then here we've got more just plain line art for these lovely corals and the little clownfish. We've got these barnacles on her shoulder, which are interesting if you have trypophobia. Wouldn't be ideal then, but adds to the image. And I imagine this would look really effective with the neutral of the skin, with then these really vibrant shades that you could bring in on the coral. So when I saw this design in our Friends of Colouring Heaven Facebook group, coloured by Elizabeth, this was exactly what I had in mind when I saw the design. She's just executed it perfectly. Really, like I say, really vibrant shades all around these corals and the fish. Then they've got a lovely contrast, not only with the neutrals of the skin, which she colours so expertly here.
She is really incredible. Look at that.
Such smooth transitions and lovely shades.
Wow.
But then she's also added this lovely background which contrasts very nicely with the bright warm shades for the corals. So it's just a really stunning piece of colouring.
She has done an amazing piece of work there, hasn't she?
So while I was in the group, another piece of colouring stood out to me, which I'd also like to show you. This is another design which lots of you coloured, and it was really interesting to see your different interpretations of it. So I've got a couple of examples here. This one has got kind of all over neutralish tone. It's got the pinky hair tied in with the nice pinky lips, and then the same design but coloured in a completely different way.
It's like a totally different design, isn't it?
Yeah, equally as nice but completely different, with the blue hair, softer skin and gold shells here and teardrops. So I thought that's really interesting to see. And if you'd like to join our Friends of Colouring Heaven Facebook group, there's albums and albums full of inspiration. We have an album for each issue, and it's full of inspiration there if you're getting colourist block or you just start an issue and want to have an idea of where to start. So.
And that's one of my favourite things about looking through the Friends of Colouring Heaven group, is seeing how everyone interprets the same image differently, and just, you know, seeing how everyone's imagination has run with it. It's really amazing. So then my choice is actually also from the Mermaid Special. Thank you. So the one I chose is this design here, which is again a light grayscale. So let me show you it closer. And what I love is the way, I think the framing of this design. Let me swap hands. She's sort of surrounded by the flowers, and I think it feels like you're being sort of pulled in, and it's very intimate, and I feel like I'm in the water with her, you know, the way it's framed. And I just think it's really sort of romantic and feminine, and I love the sort of softness of the flowers and the rippling lily pad leaves, combined with the curl of her hair and the way it sort of falls down, I think it just makes for a really lovely composition of the page. And I imagine when it's coloured, the contrast of the colours of the flowers with the water and any sort of reflections with her skin would look really pretty. So this one really stood out to me in the issue. So then take me to my colouring from the Friends of Colouring Heaven page, which is this piece here, which I think is just absolutely stunning. So like I said before, we've got the contrast from the flowers. I think it does really translate when it's been coloured. And with this dark colour of the water, I think it's really effective. And what I love particularly about the water here is where she's blended the green and the blue together in this sort of gradient with this white or very light blue highlight. I think it just, yeah, it really makes the water pop. I think highlight in general throughout this piece of colouring is one of its sort of strong points,
yeah,
especially
yeah.
Go on.
I was going to say, especially all this area of skin here.
Yeah, it is amazing.
The way she's got the light falling on those bits there is absolutely stunning.
If we ever zoom in, you can really kind of see it a bit more. Really lifelike. And I was going to say, especially on the lily pads with these sort of lighter veins running through, I think that just makes them really pop and stand out. And lastly, also the highlighting on the hair I think is really pretty and unusual with these sort of white dots running through. I think they almost look like little pearls in her hair, which sort of add to this fantastical mermaid theme.
Or water droplets.
Yeah, she's emerged from the water. So I think it's just a really nice, unusual touch, and I really loved that. And so then I also selected this piece of colouring to show you. What I love is the use of colour and shading in this. So if we zoom in so you can see, it's sort of a blue-green skin tone, but then for the highlights, they've used a light pink, which is really effective and just looks, I think it adds to the sort of fantasy look of the skin, and nicely ties in the colour scheme from the hair. And if we look at the hair, just look at that highlighting. It's amazing, really the work on this. And lots of long curly hair can be quite a challenging thing to colour, so I think the job on this is absolutely amazing, and it ties in the colour scheme really nicely.
I really like that this is, if you didn't see the crazy fantasy colours of the skin and the hair, that's pure realism, and it kind of lends a realistic air to the way that it's coloured, lends a realistic
yeah, it feels real, it does. Yeah, so I thought that was absolutely fantastic.
Okay, so my second choice is from the Unicorn Special, which has designs from Heather R. Hitchman, Selena Fennick and White Stag. And I've chosen this design.
Which gives you a closer look.
Oh yeah. So if you can see, it's a lovely, really nice, whimsical cameo, lovely framing with these symmetrical branches and the greenery and the flowers coming round, and then a lovely, such cute little faces on these unicorns here of a mother and child, cute. And then you've got all the lovely wavy hair coming down, so I thought that would be a lovely one to colour.
It's gorgeous.
And lo and behold, somebody had done a perfect job in the Friends of Colouring Heaven Facebook group. So this is Lauren Jones, and she's used the colour really well, a really limited colour palette, which I think works really nicely. So she's obviously coloured the browns, you've got the neutral of the frame here with the green, which she's then picked up on for the baby unicorn. And then the pink matching in with the mane of the mother's.
Yeah, I think the limited colour palette makes it even more striking.
It does, yeah. And then you've just got the pop of yellow here.
Yeah.
And the little green emeralds.
Yeah.
Really lovely job.
Really gorgeous.
As with the Mermaids issue, there were so many lovely designs to choose from. And I really liked this one. Lots of you coloured this one as well. This one particularly stood out to me because I really liked the choice of all warm colours, and the pink and the orange in particular I thought really looked nice together. That just appealed to me. And then also I wanted to give this one a quick mention. Elaine has obviously been watching The Witcher, which I've been doing recently. So she's got some of the symbols and she's added her own little embellishments to the unicorn there, which I thought was really fun.
Yeah, I love that. I love when colourists add their own touches and embellishments to a colouring design. I think it makes it really interesting.
So that's that one.
So then my next choice is from the Steampunk Special. So this one is by Matt and Dawn Davidson, who are a husband and wife duo. So the design I chose is actually by Matt Davidson, although I do love Dawn's portraits as well. This one is the one that spoke to me as my favourite, so let me show you it up close. I really love the layout of this design, how we've got Alice stood in the front here with the really striking eye contact, but then your eye's really drawn through this path, through the rest of the design and up, and as you go, your eye wanders across and you notice more and more details that are going on.
There's so many things to
and especially I think when you're colouring, as you go through each bit, you'll notice more and more tiny details, like the men here. I'm not sure if you can make it out on the screen, but here, the little card soldier men waltzing down the pathway, and I think it's really lovely, and I imagine that coloured, this will look even more striking. So that leads me nicely to my colouring from the Friends of Colouring Heaven page here. And it does, when it is coloured, it's just so visually striking. I feel like it really catches your eye. On this particularly, I love the contrast of the light blue and the dark blue on her outfit. I think it makes it really bold, and I just think it looks beautiful. And with the green background, well, the green floor, the whole way through, it's sort of, that's a continuous through the whole design, but it makes each individual element really pop and stand out, and you notice each sort of mini scene of things that are going on and what people are doing. But still, the colour palette is tied in and it all sort of mirrors one another. You've got the blues here in Alice, but also up here with the little caterpillar. So I think it all works together really nicely, but still each bit really stands out on its own. So I thought that was really nice. And then I also wanted to highlight this piece from the Steampunk Special, because I just thought the colouring on the jacket was incredible with the shadows and the highlights. It really gives it that sort of shiny fabric look, which is, it can be really difficult to do.
It looks like raw, I can imagine it being like raw silk.
Yeah. Yes,
or velvet
or a satin,
something, especially here where you've got the contrast.
Yeah, definitely. And I also thought the skin tone on this piece was absolutely incredible with the highlights and the shadows. They're just so lifelike and really detailed. Like we've got the highlighting down here and all on the ear, but I love the lovely sort of blush that we've got coming through on the cheek too. I think they've done a really, really fantastic job on this, so I thought that one was worth a highlight. And then I just had to show you this version of the cover that we've got here. How amazing is this? Just look at all the detail that's gone in here. So we've got Alice again with another interpretation. Like we were saying earlier, it's so nice to see how everyone interprets things differently. Yeah, her outfit looks entirely different, doesn't it?
The red and white stripe on her.
Yeah.
And the pink, the black heart rather than the red heart in the other one.
And I love all of these white highlights that we've got running through the whole piece of colouring. I think they really elevate it and bring it to the next level. So I just thought this piece of colouring was really fantastic.
And again, you've actually got quite a limited colour palette here, haven't you, with the blues and then just these little hits of red here.
Yeah, it's really effective.
It's really effective.
Really effective.
Okay, my next choice is from the Gods and Goddesses Special by Jash Lee. And I've chosen the first design in the issue actually, which is this one here. And her name is Aphrodite, Goddess of Love.
Let's show you.
So with all Jash's designs, they're very detailed. They've got lovely line art with them. And what can I say? They're just the fluidity of the hair. He just manages to capture things like that so well. And here you've got the movement in the waves and the water here.
It almost creates like a figure of 8 on the page.
Yes, yeah, with the dove's wings coming down and the swan's neck.
Really gorgeous.
And in the Friends of Colouring Heaven group, I found this version of it, which I thought was really interesting. I really liked looking at this one. See this background here? I don't know how they've created that. It looks like water droplets have been added onto some marker or something maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but I just thought that was a really stunning effect to have here and dappling in the corners.
Really unique as well, it makes it really stand out.
And here's similar kind of effect going on in the water. I really liked that piece, and again we've got the use of a highlight here going through with the dots and the highlights on her jewellery and costume. I thought that was a lovely piece.
Yeah, I think this is a great example of using the group to get inspiration, because that's not a background I ever would have thought to do myself, and yet when you see it in the group you think, oh, I want to try that myself actually.
It looks like it's got some glitter on it as well actually, in these little areas.
Yeah,
so yeah, it'd be nice to see that in real life.
Yes. So my next design is from the Halloween Special, which is a big multi-artist issue. We do that every Halloween, and it's one of our most popular ones. But the one I have chosen actually is also from Matt Davidson, same as from the Steampunk. So this one I have chosen is called Vampira, I think is how you say it. Let me get you in a little bit closer. And what I really loved about this design is the striking eye contact. I think she immediately grabs your attention, and I think really portrays her attitude and the facial expressions. It's very expressive, and I loved the sort of flow through the design, from her hair up with the clothing and then this swoosh around here. And also I think the fact that we've got this big moon round in the back, you could do something really interesting with her being backlit with your colouring.
This is interesting as well with the drips coming down from it. So
yeah, it's really lovely, isn't it?
Kind of dripping.
Yeah. So I thought that design was really striking, and so then I found from the Friends of Colouring Heaven page this colouring, which I think is so striking. The colours are absolutely fantastic. I love the gradient in the background, and also the effect here on this bottom corner with the glow from the moonlight I think is really effective. And again the highlights sort of throughout the piece with the white Posca pen work really, really well. And I love these extra details that were added in here with the white Posca pen. I think they look really great, especially against the colours of the background. But I just thought that this was a really impactful piece of colouring, and worked really, really nicely. And then this other piece from the Halloween Special, I thought their use of light in this was really impressive. We've got sort of the burning pumpkin head here and the glowing
fiery mane.
Yeah, a fiery mane.
Tail.
Yeah, I just thought against the muted dark colours of the background and the horse, it was really striking, and the contrast it created was really quite impressive. So I just wanted to highlight that one as well, which I thought was really great.
So my next design is from a collection issue, and this one is Holly Hobbie. Now this is a really special issue for me because I have a real sense of nostalgia for Holly Hobbie, as I had the bedspread, the quilt, the bin, the doll, everything of Holly Hobbie when I was growing up. And with that in mind, I have gone for one of the artist's original drawings, which is towards the back of the issue. This one here, which I think is just so nostalgic. Two little girls there, which reminded me of my best friend when I was growing up, playing together. Anyone who knows me knows I'm a bit of a cat person since lockdown, so having him in there is lovely. Just really whimsical and nostalgic, so that one...
I think it almost looks like they're telling each other a secret.
Yeah.
It's really cute.
I love that one, so that was my favourite for that issue.
It is really lovely.
And this colouring was exactly what I had in mind. This one smells of the 1970s, I think. All the colours are right. You've got the lovely muted blue greys and the wooden colours, the lovely ginger and black cat here. It's just, well,
it is really, really nice. I love the colouring on the cat.
Yeah, he's gorgeous.
It's really sweet.
And it's actually really delicate, lovely colouring, because there is colour in this.
Yeah, the colour palette on the apron, I think, that she's wearing, her sort of pinafore.
Beautiful.
It's really sweet. Really nice.
I also wanted to highlight this design, which is by Tracy, and she's added a lovely background to these line art elements at the bottom here. But what I thought was really clever was there's a very slight grey shading. I don't know if you can see that on here. Grey shading, which she's kind of rubbed out a little bit here, which gives a feeling of the clouds letting the rain come down, which I thought was really clever.
Yeah.
And of course it's got the yellow mat, which...
I know the background sort of reminds me of the way you would stain paper with a tea bag to make it look aged.
Yeah, it's very clever.
So my next design is also from a collection issue, but it's from our Christmas Traditions one, which is one of my all-time favourite Colour in Heaven issues. I just think it's so lovely. So this is 48 exclusive designs by Fabiana Attanasio. So she did all of these designs for us for this issue. Jen actually commissioned this issue, and you came up with a list of all the different festive traditions.
I'm thinking of all the traditions and wanted somebody to illustrate this one, and Fabiana, with her really lovely whimsical style, came to mind, so she was kind enough to spend time creating all these lovely designs for us.
It's really gorgeous, and it was so hard to pick my favourite, because what I love about this issue is that it encompasses all the lovely things about Christmas, and so to single one out it was very difficult, but I went for this design in the end because I felt like it encompassed a lot of the nice things about Christmas. So let me show you. We've got the warm cozy fire and the nice decorations, and then we've got the people here too, with the two children writing their letters to Santa, which obviously is a classic Christmas tradition. I think it's so cute. She's concentrating with her little tongue sticking out. So I thought, as a top favourite, this one combines a lot of the lovely things about this this page, and I thought you could get some nice colouring effects with it too, with the glow of the fire behind them, with a nice backlight, and all the different sort of textures. We've got wood here and the brick behind, so I thought that would be a really lovely one to colour. And so I found some colouring from the issue, but as I said, I could not decide on a favourite of them all, so it was very difficult. So I found some colouring of different images that I also really loved. So the first one is this mulled wine design. I just really love the style of the colouring on this. I think all the highlights in it make everything really pop.
These look, you can feel the glossiness of the jam.
Yeah, it feels like freshly baked. You've just spread the jam on them. It's lovely. I can zoom in for a bit more detail on that. And I really love all the detail that's gone into the wood on the background. There's not a single bit of this colouring page that has not had a lot of attention and sort of care put into it, and I think it really shows everything, really pops, all the details. So I thought that was a really nice one to highlight. And then this one I couldn't resist showing either. I just think it's absolutely gorgeous, all the details in the colouring and the shading, it's beautiful. But my favourite thing, which you can kind of see if I zoom like this, is the glow that we get on the people's faces and the clothes from this candle. I think it creates a nice focal point and adds a warmth to the colouring, because we've got a lot of sort of icy snow going on, but that really still gives it that warm, cosy feeling, and it's just absolutely stunning.
They've done that really well, haven't they? Especially on here, where you've got the coat is actually blue, but the yellow light, then they've used the green here in the same way that they've done on the face. It's really really well done. Really,
really amazing. So yes, that's another one that I wanted to highlight.
So my last selection is from the Colour in Heaven collection, Women of the World. This is designs by Andy Davis and Kizzy Art. And the design I've chosen is the second of Africa designs. And I don't really know what it is about this one, because all Andy's faces are absolutely beautiful. But I think that there's just the flowing nature of this, where you've got the circular earring, the shape of her face, the markings on her face. I don't know, something about that just really spoke to me.
You get that sometimes, don't you, where a design just speaks to you.
Yeah, and that was the case in this instance. And I have a couple of ones I've picked out from the group as well, which I thought were lovely. That's that design actually. And again, just lovely and vibrant and nice colour choices, where they've picked up and echoed colours across the page, which looks really effective.
And the markings on her face really pop and stand out. They're gorgeous.
Do, yeah. And I like the way she's taken attention, done nice smooth shading for the skin, and then you've got the texture for the fur here. So nice attention to detail.
Really nice.
And I also would like to just show this one, because this stood out to me in the group as well. Again, such vibrant colouring. And again, echoing of colours here. So very limited colour palette with lots of attention to detail with things like the jewellery.
Really gorgeous attention to
Really
detail.
beautiful.
It is stunning. So then my final choice is actually from the Colouring Heaven 2022 calendar. So this has got 13 exclusive designs from some of the top colouring artists in the world, which is very exciting. And they're in a nice big square shape, so they're really lovely to colour. So the one I chose is actually March's design by Fabiana Attanasio. I thought it was absolutely stunning. I probably can't hold it up and show you, it's all a bit big, so I'll show you in detail now. Yeah, I really love this design. Again, it was one that just spoke to me. I really like, well, I love florals and I like long curly hair and designs to colour, so
perfect for you.
It is. It was almost designed for me. My birthday's in March, so it must it's just my design, obviously. Yeah, so I thought the way that the hair flows down into the flowers is really beautiful, and I just imagined once it was coloured with all these different flowers, if you look, there's so many different ones, it would just really pop. And so yeah, I just really loved it, and I was right. If I show you this colouring from Friends of Colouring Heaven, it indeed does pop. So here we go, let me show you. So I just think it's stunning, and especially sort of if you think about when you would have the calendar up showing the March month, we're going to be moving into spring, and it's all going to, the world is going to start coming to life again, or the natural world will start coming to life again. And so I just thought this design would be a really lovely one for around that time, and especially about this colouring. All the detail they've put in it, even down to all the different colours in the pansies, and each flower stands out distinct from the others, but together they all work really nicely. So I think, yeah, the colour palette is brilliant, and the attention to detail is just fab. So I really love this.
I like that she's made these into swallows with the colours that tie in as well.
Really nice. And then there was one other piece of colouring from the calendar that I wanted to share, which was my close second favourite of the designs. And this is one by Dawn Davidson. So this is actually a light grayscale design, and I thought this was a brilliant example to show you how even though a design might be grayscale, you can still colour light colours over the top. Obviously we've got this lovely light yellow dress, which she's done a fantastic job with, but you wouldn't know that it was a grayscale design to start. And I think it's just a nice sort of it's encouraging for people who might be a bit intimidated by grayscale, or not really, or think that you can't use lighter colours. I know I certainly did when I first saw grayscale designs, thought you would just have to use deeper colours. I think it's nice to see that you can get a lighter effect on them too. I just think this is beautiful. The colour palette, her gorgeous hair. I just feel like I can feel the warm summer breeze. It's lovely.
So let us know what you think of our choices. Would you have picked something different? If so, let us know in the comments below.
I'm really intrigued to know what you guys would pick for your choices. And if you like this video, please don't forget to give it a like. It really does help us out. And make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the little notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our future content.
We publish new videos every Friday, UK midday time, and you don't want to miss out.
See you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.